Hi, this is Jane with Green Side Up. Today we're in our greenhouse and we're going to be talking about Calatheas. They are a type of plant that comes from the plant family called Varieties. I believe that's the way to say it. Some people also will consider prayer plants to be part of this Calathea family. So we're going to be kind of talking about them interchangeably. A lot of the things that I talk about are the same for both of them. Calatheas come from the tropics. So think of Central America, say. You've got lots of rainforests, it's wet, it's hot. They grow as what would be considered an understory plant, so they're kind of down there on the ground where it's very moist. They get filtered light. That's how they grow in the wild. Kind of think about that as you're growing them in your house. So they're going to like it nice and warm. Not hot, but just nice and warm. They're going to want to have enough moisture, not necessarily sitting in water, but they certainly are going to want to be, well, for instance, more moist than a cactus, say. And they're going to want bright light, but you certainly don't have to put them in your southwest window because that would be too bright. One of the reasons that people like Calatheas are the pretty leaves. This one, with all that white variegation, is called a white fusion. Imagine that. This one, you can kind of hear it, well, probably not on camera, but it's called a rattlesnake plant. It kind of rattles a little bit when you shake it. This particular one is called ornata. I kind of like it with that variegated white leaf. If you're looking for a plant that's going to give you some different coloring in your collection, the Calatheas are a great plant to choose from because you have so many different colors that you can get. Another thing besides the pretty leaves that people like for the Calatheas is the fact that they will close up their leaves at night. They are related to a plant called the maranta, which is also known as the prayer plant. So what happens is that the leaves have a joint on them, and it is the joint that allows that leaf to close. Now, some Calatheas, you don't see it as much as others. You do on the prayer plants a whole lot more. That joint is more pronounced. In the wild, or in your house, it has to do with how much light they're getting. If you think about the tropics, where they're native, you get 12 hours of light, and then you get 12 hours of darkness. It's a rhythm. And so their opening and closing has to do with the rhythm of the light, the changing of the light. If you give your plant too much light, it will kind of affect that rhythm, and they actually won't close as much. By the way, when they do close, you get to see the very pretty underside of the plant. And on most of these, you're going to have this purple coloring. And they're so pretty when they close at night. Calatheas will get a flower sometimes, but the flower on the Calathea isn't, well, anything to write home about. So just enjoy the plant for the pretty leaves. If you get a flower, it's a bonus, but don't be disappointed if you don't. They're not that great. In the tropics, as we know, in the wild, they have very humid conditions. You want to keep your humidity at about, say 55 to 60%. To make them happy. If the humidity drops too low, you will get crispy leaves. You don't want crispy leaves. It's okay on a cereal, not on a plant. The best way to do that is to have a humidifier in that area, and that will help to keep that humidity up. Now, you always have to walk that fine line between too wet, too dry. They can get a fungus disease, and that would be if it's kept too wet. So you want to keep the soil moist, but you don't want them sitting in water. Again, walking that fine line between what they like and, well, what's going to make them not happy. Calatheas as a whole, beautiful plants. They're going to give you that gorgeous color, that different look to your collection. It's a great plant to get. We've got several here at Green Side Up. So if you're interested in them, come on in. We can give you information about them. We can show them to you, and we'd be happy to sell them to you. This is Jane at Green Side Up. Wishing you a very good day.